If you've been receiving Social Security for a while, you may have noticed that every so often something seems to change. Sometimes it's the amount deposited into your bank account. Other times it's the date a payment arrives, a notice from the Social Security Administration, or a new rule about managing your benefits online. It's easy to wonder whether these updates are routine or whether they could affect your retirement income in a meaningful way. The good news is that not every change means your monthly benefit is at risk. But there are several updates that retirees should understand because even small adjustments can have a real impact on how you plan your monthly budget. And that's exactly what we'll be talking about today. We'll explain what is changing, who is most likely to notice these updates first, and which changes simply require awareness rather than immediate action. Before you assume this won't affect you, there's something important to keep in mind. Not every retiree receives Social Security the same way. Your payment date depends on when you started receiving benefits, and for many people, on the day of the month they were born. Some beneficiaries also receive Supplemental Security Income, often called SSI, which is a separate federal program designed to help people with limited income and resources. Those payments follow a different schedule. Understanding which group you fall into is the first step toward knowing whether any upcoming changes apply to you. Imagine Linda, who retired at age 66 several years ago. Every month, she expects her Social Security payment to arrive like clockwork through direct deposit into her checking account. She has automatic bill payments scheduled around that deposit, so even a change in timing could affect how she manages her monthly expenses. Now imagine Robert, who recently retired and claims Social Security this year. He's still learning how payment schedules work and occasionally checks his bank account wondering why his deposit didn't arrive on the same date as his neighbors. Both retirees receive Social Security, but their situations are different, and understanding those differences can help avoid unnecessary worry. One of the biggest misconceptions is that everyone receives Social Security on the first day of the month. That's actually not how the system works for most retirees. Instead, many monthly retirement benefits are paid according to the beneficiary's birth date. This payment schedule has been in place for years, but it's still one of the most common sources of confusion, especially when headlines mention changes to Social Security checks. For example, if a scheduled payment date falls on a weekend or a federal holiday, the payment is generally issued on the preceding business day instead. That doesn't usually change the amount of the benefit, but it can change when the money reaches your account. For retirees who carefully plan their monthly spending, even a one-day difference can matter. That's why understanding the payment calendar is just as important as understanding your benefit amount. But payment timing isn't the only area where retirees are seeing updates. What many people don't realize is that the Social Security Administration continues to modernize how beneficiaries access their accounts and receive information. More notices are being delivered electronically for people who choose online communication. Many account services are now managed through secure online accounts, and identity verification procedures have become increasingly important to help reduce fraud and protect retirees' personal information. These administrative changes don't necessarily affect the size of your monthly check. However, they can affect how easily you access information about your benefits. If you've never created an online Social Security account, you may eventually find that having one makes it much easier to review your payment history, update direct deposit information, download benefit verification letters, and monitor official notices from the agency. For viewers who aren't comfortable using computers, don't worry. Traditional options remain available, and many retirees continue receiving mailed notices when appropriate. Family members or trusted representatives can also help, provided they follow Social Security's rules for assisting beneficiaries. The important point is simply this: Social Security is evolving, and staying familiar with these administrative updates can help you avoid confusion later. There's another area that often surprises retirees. Many people assume their monthly benefit only changes if Congress passes a new law. In reality, there are several reasons why a payment amount could change over time. One example is the annual cost of living adjustment, commonly called a COLA. If you've heard that term before but never fully understood it, here's a simple explanation. A cost of living adjustment is an annual increase that is intended to help Social Security benefits keep up with rising prices over time. If everyday expenses such as groceries, housing, or other common household costs increase, a COLA may help preserve some of the purchasing power of monthly benefits. The adjustment isn't chosen at random. It's based on a government measure of inflation, which is the general increase in prices across the economy. Each year, the Social Security Administration announces whether a COLA will apply and how much it will be, based on current law and economic data. This means retirees may notice changes in their monthly benefit from one year to the next, not because they did anything differently, but because the annual adjustment has taken effect. But that's not the biggest change retirees should pay attention to. Later in the video, we'll explain another detail that can affect how much money actually reaches your bank account, even when your Social Security benefit itself hasn't changed. That distinction catches many people by surprise. Before we get there, though, it's helpful to understand why Social Security updates seem to appear so often in the news. Every year, millions of Americans either begin claiming benefits, switch from paper checks to direct deposit, become eligible for Medicare, or experience other life changes that affect how they receive federal retirement benefits. At the same time, the Social Security Administration updates guidance, improves technology, publishes new payment calendars, and implements annual adjustments required under existing law. Because these updates happen regularly, news headlines can sometimes make routine administrative changes sound much larger than they really are. That's why it's always worth asking an important question. Is this change affecting everyone, or only certain groups of beneficiaries? The answer is often more limited than the headline suggests. Some updates apply only to new retirees. Others affect people receiving disability benefits. Still others apply mainly to beneficiaries who have recently changed bank accounts, moved to a new address, or updated their personal information. Knowing which category you fall into can make retirement planning much less stressful. Have you already checked how your Social Security payments are scheduled this year? If not, it may be worth taking a few minutes to review your payment dates so you know exactly when to expect each monthly deposit. That small step can make budgeting easier and help prevent unnecessary concern if a payment arrives on a different business day because of a weekend or federal holiday. And as we'll see next, payment timing is only one piece of the picture. There's another change many retirees overlook, one that can influence how they view their monthly benefit, and why two people receiving Social Security may not see exactly the same amount deposited into their bank accounts. Now that we've covered why Social Security payments can appear to change from month to month, let's look at something that often causes even more confusion. Many retirees compare their monthly deposit with a friend or neighbor and notice the amounts are different. That can be worrying at first. Some people immediately wonder whether their benefit was reduced. Others assume someone else received a special increase. But in many cases, neither assumption is correct. Social Security benefits are highly personal. Your monthly payment is based on your own work history, the taxes you paid into the system during your working years, the age at which you claimed benefits, and, in some situations, other factors that apply only to your individual circumstances. For example, imagine David and Susan both retired at age 67. David worked for more than 40 years with steadily increasing earnings. Susan worked part-time for many years while helping raise her family. Both paid into Social Security, but because their lifetime earnings were different, their monthly retirement benefits are different as well. That doesn't mean one person is receiving the correct amount and the other isn't. It simply reflects how Social Security calculates retirement benefits under current law. But that's only part of the story. Another detail that many retirees don't realize is that the amount deposited into their bank account isn't always the same as their full Social Security benefit. Here's why. Many beneficiaries have their Medicare Part B premium automatically deducted from their Social Security payment. Medicare Part B is the portion of Medicare that helps cover doctor visits, outpatient care, preventive services, and certain medical equipment. Instead of paying that premium separately each month, many retirees have it taken directly out of their Social Security benefit before the money reaches their bank account. That means your bank deposit may be smaller than your total Social Security benefit. For someone looking only at the deposit, it may appear that Social Security reduced the payment. In reality, part of the money is simply being used to pay for Medicare coverage. This is one reason it's helpful to review your annual Social Security benefit notice. It explains your gross monthly benefit, the full amount before deductions, as well as any deductions that apply. Understanding that difference can prevent unnecessary concern. There's another situation that can catch retirees off guard. Suppose Karen recently moved and opened a new checking account. She remembered to tell her local bank, but she forgot to update her direct deposit information with the Social Security Administration. When her next payment was issued, it couldn't be deposited into the old account as expected. Situations like this can delay access to benefits until the banking information is corrected. The lesson isn't that changing banks is risky. It's simply a reminder that whenever important financial information changes, such as your mailing address, direct deposit account, or legal name, it's wise to notify Social Security as soon as possible. A few minutes spent updating your information today can help prevent frustration later. Another important topic involves identity protection. Unfortunately, scammers continue to target older Americans by pretending to represent government agencies. Some may claim there's a problem with your Social Security benefits. Others may threaten to suspend your payments unless you provide personal information immediately. These messages often create unnecessary panic. The Social Security Administration generally communicates through official notices and established procedures. If you receive an unexpected phone call, text message, or email demanding immediate payment, threatening arrest, or asking for sensitive personal information, it's important to be cautious before responding. When in doubt, contact the Social Security Administration using its official contact information rather than responding directly to the message. Protecting your personal information is just as important as protecting your monthly income. Now let's talk about another update retirees sometimes misunderstand. Each year, Social Security beneficiaries may hear discussions about inflation and the cost of living adjustment, or COLA. Some assume that every increase automatically means they're financially better off. The reality is a little more complicated. A COLA is designed to help benefits keep pace with rising prices over time. However, everyday expenses don't always increase at the same rate for every household. For example, one retiree may spend a significant portion of their income on healthcare. Another may spend more on housing or transportation. Even when benefits increase, individual experiences with inflation can be different. That's why many financial educators encourage retirees to review their monthly budget every year, instead of assuming an annual adjustment will cover every increase in living expenses. Even a simple review can help identify areas where spending has changed. Perhaps your prescription costs have increased. Maybe your utility bills are higher than they were last year. Or perhaps you've paid off a loan, giving you a little more flexibility each month. Understanding these changes allows you to make informed decisions instead of reacting after your budget becomes tight. Here's another example. Tom receives his Social Security payment through direct deposit and rarely thinks about it because everything has worked smoothly for years. One month, however, he notices the deposit arrives a day earlier than expected. At first, he worries that something unusual has happened. After checking the payment calendar, he realizes the normal payment date fell on a weekend, so the payment was issued on the previous business day. No benefits were lost. Nothing had gone wrong. It was simply the regular payment schedule working as intended. Small details like these often explain situations that seem confusing at first glance. Before assuming your benefit has changed unexpectedly, it's always worth checking the payment calendar, reviewing any official notices you've received, and confirming whether a routine administrative adjustment may be the reason. But there's one area that deserves even closer attention. What many retirees don't realize is that certain life events can affect their Social Security benefits in ways they weren't expecting. Returning to work after retirement, changes in family circumstances, or other significant events may have implications depending on your individual situation. Not every retiree will be affected, but understanding when these situations apply can help you avoid surprises. In the next section, we'll look at the retirees who are most likely to notice meaningful changes, explain what actions may be worth considering, and separate common myths from the facts so you can focus on what truly matters for your retirement income. By now, you can probably see that not every Social Security update means your monthly check is increasing or decreasing. In many cases, the biggest change is simply understanding how the system works. Still, there are certain retirees who should pay closer attention. If you're planning to claim Social Security soon, it's important to review your estimated benefit before filing. Claiming at a different age can affect your monthly payment for the rest of your retirement. If you've recently changed banks, moved to a new address, or updated your name, double-check that your information with the Social Security Administration is current. Keeping your records up to date can help prevent payment delays. Another group to watch includes retirees who are enrolled in Medicare. Since many people have their Medicare Part B premium deducted directly from their Social Security benefit, reviewing your annual benefit notice can help you understand why the amount deposited into your bank account may differ from your full benefit. There's one more point that often gets overlooked. When you hear headlines about Social Security changes, take a moment to ask whether the update applies to all beneficiaries or only to a specific group. Many announcements affect only certain recipients, while others are simply reminders about payment schedules or administrative procedures. Staying informed doesn't mean worrying about every headline. It means understanding which updates actually apply to your situation. In our final section, we'll recap the key takeaways, discuss a few simple habits that can help you avoid surprises, and leave you with practical steps to stay confident about your Social Security benefits in the months ahead. Let's bring everything together. The most important thing to remember is that Social Security checks can change for a variety of reasons, but not every change affects every retiree. Some updates involve payment schedules, others relate to annual cost of living adjustments, Medicare deductions, or routine administrative changes. The best approach isn't to worry, it's to stay informed. Take a few minutes each year to review your Social Security statements, confirm that your direct deposit and contact information are current, and pay attention to official notices from the Social Security Administration. These simple habits can help you avoid unnecessary surprises and give you greater confidence in managing your retirement income. If you're unsure whether a new Social Security announcement applies to you, check the official information before making any decisions. A little preparation today can save a lot of confusion tomorrow. We hope this breakdown has helped you better understand what's changing and what it could mean for your retirement. Thank you for watching, and if you found this video helpful, consider subscribing for more clear, reliable updates on Social Security, Medicare, retirement planning, and other topics that matter to retirees. Until next time, stay informed, stay prepared, and take good care of yourself.